So in this video we're going to see how to install Arch Linux on your PC or laptop. So this is going to be a very easy tutorial because we're going to use a script called as archinstall. So this is not like the previous methods, like you would configure everything from scratch, and that takes a lot of time. But using archinstall, it's very easy. It's a wizard type of installation, so that will guide you step by step in order to install Arch. Alright. I'm going to install Arch Linux onto my PC. So I have switched into my PC with my laptop, and now we're ready to install Arch Linux. So the first thing what we need to do is we need to configure Wi-Fi, and by default Arch Linux comes with a utility called as iwctl, and we're going to use that in order to connect to Wi-Fi. So let's get into the iwctl console by typing iwctl. Now in this, what we need to do is we need to check for our wireless Wi-Fi cards. So this will so we're going to enter a command in which we will be checking if any Wi-Fi card exists on our device. I prefer connecting this to an Ethernet cable because that's way faster and easier to configure. We can skip this entire internet step. First, what we need to do is we need to check for the device. So we can type device list, and I have a physical adapter right here. Right. So now we can go ahead and scan for the networks using this network adapter. So we can type station WLAN 0 scan, and now we can go ahead and get all the networks which we got in our scan. So we can type station WLAN 0 get networks, and there we go. I have Wi-Fi over here, so we can connect to that Wi-Fi by typing station WLAN 0 connect, and then enter your Wi-Fi SSID. And once you do that, it will ask for the passphrase, but I'm gonna skip this part because I have connected this to the Ethernet. So once we do that, we can just type the passphrase, and if we type exit, then it will exit the IWD utility. So for checking whether we connected to Wi-Fi, we can just type ping any website.com, and that will actually get the data, so which means we are connected to Wi-Fi. Alright, so now we're ready to install Arch Linux. The first thing what I want to do is we're gonna run pacman sy, because that will refresh all the repositories. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to install something called as Arch Linux keyring and Arch install. So this is the script which is required to install Arch Linux in a very easy way. So just hit enter, and that will install Arch install. So now we have installed it, so we can just run Arch install. There we go. So this is the utility, so we can go ahead and install Arch Linux on our PC using this utility. It's very easy. The first thing, alright, so the first thing is we need to configure our language. So if we click on enter, we can configure the language from here. So I prefer English, so we can keep that. The next thing is the locales. So for the locales, you can configure every locale as you need it, because I use the default US keyboard layout, and the locale it's fine for me. So I'm going to go back. Now go to mirrors and repositories, click on select regions, and then I want to select India, and then hit enter. Now if you see here, these are the repositories for India, and it is loaded, so we can go back, go to disk configuration, so and hit enter, and this is where we're configuring our disks to install Arch. So the first option is fine, hit enter, and it will list all the disks available on our device. So in my case, I want to install Arch on my NVMe SSD right here. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this NVMe SSD. So you should be very careful, because if you accidentally delete any partition, the data will be lost completely. You should be very careful in that. So in my case, I've selected this NVMe, and I already have a Linux distro installed on this drive, so it will erase everything. So make sure that you don't have any secure data or important documents stored in that. Okay, so now I have selected the NVMe SSD, so hit enter, and it will ask for the file system. So I prefer ext4. You can select anything you want. If you're using an older hard drive, you can select XFS, but I'm going to select ext4 because that's what almost every modern Linux distro uses by default. So hit enter, and now it will ask you for create a separate partition for home. Well, I'm going to click on no. Okay, so now we have done with the partitioning. Make sure that the correct drive is listed here, because then your data will be erased completely. Alright, go back, click on swap, and I want to enable swap, so hit enter, enter, and we have enabled swap. And go to bootloader and hit enter, hit enter. And in this part, if you are having any other operating systems on your device, we can select grub or any other bootloader which you wish. And I don't have any OS installed on my system, but I prefer grub installing on my PC. So I'm going to click on grub, and then go back. Now for the kernels, so I prefer the default kernel. So if you want, you can select multiple kernels as well. So the next thing is the host name. So this is where we name our computer. So I'm going to name my host name as Mufasa. Hit enter, click on authentication, and click enter for entering the new root password. Confirm the root password. Go to user accounts and click on add user. Now we can just go ahead and type the username and my password, and make sure that this user is a super user. Then you'll be able to execute root commands or the super user commands, which means we can use the sudo. So hit enter, and now we can go ahead and click on confirm and exit. Go back, go to profile, and hit enter for the type, and just select what type of installation you're doing. So in my case, I'm going to install it on my desktop. I'm going to use this as my main desktop machine, so I'm going to click on enter. So it will ask us for selecting any desktop environments. In my case, I'm going to select GNOME, and it will just install all the other GNOME stuffs, so that it will be easy for you to set up your GNOME desktop once you boot it. And for the greeter, I'm going to select the default GDM, okay, which is GNOME Display Manager. And for the graphics driver, hit enter. And if you're using an Intel card, for the graphics you can select the Intel open source, or if you're going for an AMD card, you can select this AMD/ATI open source. Or if you're having NVIDIA cards, or if you're installing it on a virtual box, you can select the desired ones. So I'm gonna select it with Intel, because I use an Intel graphics card. So hit enter, and that will install Intel graphics cards, the drivers for that. And go back, go to applications, and here from this we need to select our drivers for the Bluetooth, audio, and printer services. So my PC does not have a Bluetooth Bluetooth adapter, so I'm not gonna go for the Bluetooth. And if you have Bluetooth, you can select that and select your driver. And in my case, I want to install the audio, so hit enter, and I'm gonna select pipe wire. And for the printing service, I'm gonna click on yes, and the printing service is enabled. Go back, go to network configurations, and in this network configurations I want to use the default back end. All right, and then for the additional packages, so from here we can select all the additional packages, which is the default applications or packages from here. So it will take some time to load them. As you can see, it will ask you for installing all the necessary packages, which includes fonts, utilities, drivers, kernels, everything. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do it later on. So let's exit and go ahead and click on time zone. And for the time zone, we can select the time zone which you specify. So in my case, I'm gonna select Asia Calcutta. Okay, now we can go to automatic time sync. Just go ahead and click on yes, and it is enabled. So now we can go ahead and click on install, and these are the configurations. You can check them out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on yes. So it will take some time and it will install Arch Linux on our desktop. So from here we need to wait for the installation to complete. Alright, so the installation is complete. Now we can go ahead and click on the third option, which is chroot into installation for post installation configuration. Hit that, and from here what we need to do is we can clear the console and we can install all the necessary packages in the post installation, and hit enter and hit enter. So this will install all the packages which we mentioned. Alright, so we can exit, and now we can reboot our device, and we can see whether our device successfully reboots. So now we can see this is the GDM, and if you type our password, Arch Linux is now successfully installed. There we go. So this is the default vanilla GNOME, and so I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give a like, share and subscribe to Cyber. Oh.
He was special.
Don't forget to give a like, share and subscribe to Tech Fortitude, and I'll see you guys in my next video.